Hey, we're back. Councilman Henry Davis Jr. and
Henry Davis Sr.
we're at the two Henry podcast. I do this every time. I do that. That's for a fact. I know what the show is called, but I had to do it. But guys, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone. Appreciate you guys tuning back in. This is a series of podcasts that you're going to get to hear banter between two generations. So you got junior, you got senior here, and so you're going to be you might get bounced around. Maybe you agree. I don't know. Let's go for it. I had this guy. I get all of this traffic on my Facebook page. I've been getting traffic on my Facebook page for a long time, since I had one, and I get these people come on and they just say some of the most disparaging things, and sometimes they say some of the most ignorant things, and then sometimes it becomes very challenging. You very rarely run into a situation where people like say thank you, hey, appreciate you, man. Maybe on your birthday. That's probably when that happens, and everybody says happy birthday, we appreciate you. But then less than 24 hours after, they're back at it, criticizing. But and I say that with a light heart. I don't care. I mean, that's what we're doing, right? We're talking. But here recently, I had a friend on Facebook. We call them friends, and the guy was, really supporting and clapping the budget cuts that are happening at the federal level. President Trump's budget cuts, and I was listening to what he was saying, and I commented, said, "Hey, man, don't you think that that's a bit, destructive there?" I said, all the people that are impacted by those cuts, man, I said, that's going to hurt. Like, it's going to hurt people, families. The federal budget is bloated. That's what you want to tell me. And it's been bloated for years, and we got to cut it. I said, say, man, regardless if you cut it, he said, well, we want the private sector to pick up the jobs. Yeah, we do too. We do too, because of what's going on. But the chances of the private sector being able to swallow all that and won't whop, I don't know, man. I don't think that it works like that. I said, what I'm so much concerned about is community, Black people. Seriously, Black people. So the way that we realize ourselves and to be a part of this American dream, and this is history, okay? John F. Kennedy came in with a thing called affirmative action. This is the 60s, am I correct?
Right.
Yeah. And so it basically picked like set-asides, percentages. It actually helped to support the American economy. Someone will say, well, no, he was just trying to help out Black people. Yeah, Black people are part of the American economy. I need people to understand it's not segregated. They're together. And so what I wouldn't have imagined, and what I did, experience, is that, the person says, hey, I'm not racist. I see racism. I know it's not even out here. Well, you just really tipped the scales even further with this, buddy. I mean, yeah, we was like this, and then you take it, and then we're going to be like this. I said, you have to like really pay attention to what's going on, because what impacts them, Black folk, will impact everyone else. These are things that we call, they're multiplier effects. I have a job, I have money, I go somewhere, I spend my money at that store. That store is able to buy supplies. It all works almost like in a circle, right? If I don't have the money to spend at that store, whatever store that is, and there's many of us that stop going to that store, what happens to that store?
It's closed.
And so where they buy their inventory from,
They're limping.
and whoever they buy it, I mean, it impacts everyone. And so the idea of the public sector being able to pick up that loss is unimaginable. It really is. I think the federal government has played in part a really good place to create a standard. There's a standard, there's a baseline there. That thing will exist. Right now, it's being cut away. You were saying something earlier, and I'm bringing you into the conversation. I think that's just insane. And so you're going to have all kinds of people that are going to really, really be wasted away. I mean, it's nuts.
To make a statement like that, I call it incompetence. Set aside, no, it's reinvestment.
Well, you can call it that.
Yeah, if you look at it as reinvestment, the money gets to go around. Everybody gets to touch it and it grows. And what really makes me angry, no, I'm going to change that. What really pisses me off, it is that where do the federal government get their money? Whose money is it?
The aliens.
Yeah.
They drop it off every Friday.
Yeah. It really bothers my common sense to think that the federal government is giving us up. No, we gave first. And to reinvest back into where it came from, it can't do nothing but grow.
Well, that's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone to make a statement like that, they're not informed on what's going on.
Well, one of the most dangerous voters are the ones who are uninformed.
Yeah.
That's like the most dangerous voter. Somebody walking into a booth thinking things are this way and they're not that way at all. Very dangerous. Ignorance will kill you.
Yeah.
It's not bliss.
Yeah.
So you're talking about taking all these jobs away. So where do these people go and work at? I mean, seriously, what happens? So like you're slashing at schools, teachers, principals. You have these people. Everybody got a teacher, right? Everybody got a teacher.
Okay.
Everybody got a teacher. There's not a person in the United States of America, I could say, that didn't have a teacher that helped them get to where they were going. Whether you became a barber, beautician, a streetwalker, a substance abuser. Look. At some point in your lifetime, you had a teacher. And so not even wanting to fund the Department of Education, take funds away, and then let's just take the department out and then let the states suck up, the rest of it. I mean, you're talking about these. So what happens when you go to school in Mississippi when the Department of Education doesn't exist anymore? you talking about one of the poorest. I think that they're the poorest state in the union. What happens? Think about, and who's really impacted?
Everybody is impacted because if I can't go to school, I still have to eat. So one way or the other, I'm going to eat.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a part. That's a huge one.
Yeah. My family is going to eat. So if you leaving it to me and I can't get a job, guess what?
I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be remorseful about what I'm doing.
No, man. It's going to be like Alf eating everybody's cat. You can be.
It's like punching the clock. I'm going to work.
Uh-huh.
And I have to be fruitful. Yeah. So I don't think people really think about the reality of the outcome of their doings. They don't weigh that until it hits their front porch. When they hit their front porch, 9 times out of 10, it's a little bit too late. You have to wait too long to begin to start anew, to start changing people's minds and their mindset. I used to have a 40-hour-a-week job that paid pretty good, and my family was stable, and we was on the move. And then all of a sudden, no more job. Unemployment done ran out. Everybody's sitting around the table sucking their thumbs and looking at you because you are the provider.
Yeah.
And you're going to provide if you have any self-worth. You're going to do something to put something on your table. And we are beginning to experience that now.
What calamity?
Yeah. Anytime they can go up in a guy's house and they run into enough fentanyl to poison 2 states. That's sad.
I think it is.
Because if my well-being depends on your downfall, because nobody wins at that game. It's a short-lived life. But this is what people feel like is dealt to them. And they're going to do it. So we, as people, going to have to wake up. We are going to have to start demanding the best from whomever we put in office. I was thinking about here in this city. I was looking at the Common Council.
What Common Council? They got Common Councils everywhere.
In South Bend, Indiana.
Okay.
And it's nuts.
You think it is?
It is nuts that you can pull out your driveway and go down the street and tear your car up before you get to the corner because the streets are full of
potholes.
No, chuck holes. They're not potholes. These are chuck holes.
Okay, chuck holes, ditches.
Because
I didn't spend a lot of money over the last year getting tires. A lot of money. Yeah.
Holes are big enough to where an animal can fall in and live down there and you never run over.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Spent a lot of money over the last, lot of money. I don't know.
And the only thing they can come up with,
I don't know.
Talk about trash.
Man, I think I've spent like a lot of money on like over the last less than a year. I know I've gotten at least 7 new tires.
And then you can go to one side of town in South Bend on the east side.
Not touch any potholes, chuck holes.
No, they're prospering.
Oh, man.
To the max over there. And so when you ride through there and then you go back home and you see where you live at, you see where your kids live at. And you got these knuckleheads on the Common Council. It's like they're blind.
Like 7 tires, man.
Still where they live at.
That. 7 tires.
They live in the same neighborhoods. But it's like it's okay with them that when it rains, you need a boat to go across the street because of the holes in the street that retain all the water.
Kind of like Italy.
It is mind-boggling, to say, you are an elected official. This is what you wanted to do. You said that you wanted to help people.
Well,
what people are you helping?
I don't. So that takes me to another. Here's a detour real quick. So yesterday, I had a really, really uncomfortable conversation. Well, the conversation wasn't uncomfortable to me, but I'm sure he was uncomfortable. And I was really asking the director of the Citizens Review Board. This is over social media, and I asked him, what are y'all doing? And so this leans into what you're just saying. Let me get there real quick. And so he created all of these ideas of, well, we can work together. We should talk. We should do this. We should do that. And I'm not necessarily interested in talking. I approached you before when you first got the job, let you know that I'll be there to help you. And the only reason I am like this with this particular piece is because I created this. This took me, it took me several years to get it completed, right? So, I mean, I honor this shit. This is mine, and I take
bruises and
yeah. I take I take issue with this being used this way. So
misuse.
yeah, right. And so I said, say, man, your board ain't got this, you ain't got this, and I ran it all down. And it was the fact that I don't think he understood that this is what he should be working on. He's allowing people that didn't want the Citizens Review Board to even happen to tell him what he should be doing with the Citizens Review Board.
Well, again, incompetence.
And so he really felt like he was doing what he's supposed to have been doing. And so I kind of get it, right? But it's written in black and white, player. And so even that very document, he's telling me that the people that he working with said there's a lot of this needs to be changed. And I said, I'm thinking to myself, I've said, man, do you ever believe and think that we wouldn't pass an unfair, unjust law? We do have the state that oversees the laws that we pass. And so if there was something that was outside outside the lines where it's supposed to be, the state would come in, and kick it. I mean, we have her on the turn. I mean, you're just saying got people that, Fraggle Rock up there making rules. Well, at least I wasn't on Fraggle Rock making rules. I mean, this is crazy. So he's gotten, the people that don't want to see it has gotten him to a place where he believes that was wrong. And what they are saying, the ops, my son calls them the ops, the ops are right in what they're saying and how they're addressing. This stuff is nuts. And it's just like, dude, this is there to help fit, to support the people that were asking for it.
He doesn't know what he's doing. He hasn't read the job description. He hasn't looked at the goals and the standards that was set within that. And he's incompetent. That's what the word means. He's not altogether there. His heart is not with that. He's in the wrong lane.
Well, I just really feel some type of way about that because of the work that was put in and the time that was put in to even get it done. Could things have changed over the last few years, with the state law and some things need to be taken on? Yeah, absolutely. But you still have a Citizens Review Board that is supposed to oversee and be available to people who feel like that they were treated unfairly. You have the people that even are on the Citizens Review Board have not even been trained by the National Board of Citizens Review Boards, the people that oversee it, right? There are so many things that should be done in the interim while you're adjusting the law, right? Yeah, what you want to do. You want to adjust the law. While you're adjusting the law, the lawyers should be adjusting it. But anyhow, while they're adjusting the law, and then the council's supposed to vote on it, not the director, okay? I mean, I
the council supposed to vote on it.
Yeah, not the director.
But see, most of the people on the council, some of them are new, some of them have been there too long.
Yeah.
And they're not responsive to the needs of people, period.
So why I say all this, and that's why I talked about it, so I didn't want to go down this detour, but I just did it. When you have these things that are separated, that are supposed to be in place, but somehow shows up absent, this is what causes not only the calamity and destruction we're talking about, finances, economically, you kill people's hope. right?
Right.
You kill people's hope. So you do it directly, indirectly. That's how that happens, right? You are refusing to be accountable to what you said that you were going to do.
And
Even when the shit is written out in black and white, right? I know you.
But that's not by accident.
But who controls that? How does that happen? Yeah, figure that one out, right?
We are the ones that supposed to control that, and that's what we have to get back to. Excuse me. Hope is something that you have a high expectancy of receiving something good. That's hope. You look forward to it. You look forward to somebody a little higher than you to agree with a good dream. But not here in South Bend. They steal all the hope right off the top. The first thing they will say, oh, we can't do that, or that won't work, or yeah, but no, one person has not the authority or the right to tell the masses what they can do and what they can't do. At some point in time, the masses must stand up with a unified voice and tell that person, you done.
What?
You got to step down. You're no longer in that position. But we too nice for that.
I don't think we're too nice for that.
I don't see them stepping down.
No, they're not even going to step down. But I think what happens is that people become so
complacent.
It could be complacent. I think they don't ever want to lose standing in the relationship that they do have with people that probably do need to sit down, right? I don't want to lose relationship with you because I'm going to say something that may sting, right? Correcting what that is in front of me, in front of you, may cause Jim over there to get unhappy with me. You understand what I'm saying? So we choose our relationships, and I'm not saying this is right. As a matter of fact, I think this is like real juvenile, but we lessen our appeal, our ability to fly to higher heights because of relationships.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We think of his dinner table more than ours.
Man. Man, ain't nobody going for that, right?
But that's what's going on.
That's exactly what's going on.
To keep from hurting his feelings, I'll go hungry. And he's not going to invite me and my 9 kids to his house for dinner.
No. You won't even get a gift card for Christmas, right? So it's just one of those things that, really... So how do we attack this, right? How do we get to a better discussion with this? I always believe words, and I believe words have function. I think words are, I don't think words are spirits, right? We have the ability to speak these things into existence. I think, and I really believe that we have to really start redefining what some of these words mean. Case in point, we were talking about all those people from Department of Justice losing their job, Department of Justice, Department of Education, and the federal government. And you were talking about all the other things that are going to happen, and then somebody's going to make sure that they eat, right? And they'll call that a crime.
Right.
They call that a crime. Like, so you go run up in McDonald's and take, a whole bunch of burgers and money because you're hungry at home, right? Or your local grocery store, right? And that's going to happen because somebody's, choosing their stomach over, being starved to death, right? So, but they are called that crime, right? And as it could be, it is, right? By book definition, it is crime. But that thing didn't show up like that first. Them cuts was the crime, right?
Yeah.
And the longer that we keep on thinking that the government does not have moral responsibility, it has a moral responsibility to its members. The more we want this to turn into some sort of like private business where we make a profit, or we can just move on because this is ours, the more crime that we cause is going to be committed. It's only one way that this happens, right?
Right.
It happens indirectly, right? Indirectly.
People, as you were saying earlier, they have respect of persons, respect of certain people. And it's sad commentary that you can sit and watch the homeless rate grow and grow and grow. You slashing the budget, whether it's local or federal. What are you doing with the money that you done slashed that I used to get?
Right.
To help further my life and my neighbor's life. So what are you doing with that money? And it's my money. This belongs to me. I work for it. My parents work for it. My neighbors work for it. Now you going to tell me that I can't enjoy the fruit of my labor. That's what you're saying. You're saying that you can take my money and do what you want to do with it, and I can't say a word or have any authority to slow you down. Something's wrong with that picture.
So look at this. Check this out. This is one to go into because people really like numbers, and they say, well, it's backed up by facts, but facts are not being distorted and even challenged now. Blue gonna look like red in a minute. But this is a USAfact.org. You're talking about federal government, right? And it says white and black Americans are overrepresented in federal government. Hispanics Americans are underrepresented. Here goes a race and ethnic breakdown of federal government employment in U.S. overall population, and this is this data is a few years off. This is 2021. You have federal government workers. It says white federal government workers are like 61.2% of their workforce. Then it goes to the total U.S. population. They make up 59% of the U.S. total population. White, this is the demographic. Says, and we're going to talk about this too in a second. Black African, Black American, it makes up 18.2% of the federal workforce. When we only actually make up 12% of, looks like it's closer to 13%. It says 12.6 of the actual population on in America. And then you have Hispanics who are like 18.9% of the total population, and they only make up like 9.5% of the federal workforce. And it goes on down to Asian. Asian is 5.9% of the total populations, and then 6.5% of the federal workforce. Look, what I'm getting at is the fact that you're now overrepresented. As a matter of fact, if, for instance, South Bend's, I do that because it's more personal and it's quick. I can touch it. If South Bend were to kind of like work on this same type of model, you wouldn't have the crime that you see in South Bend. You wouldn't have the scarcity in South Bend. Because this is how this is supposed to work out. They say overrepresented because the representation in the workforce exceeds their total population in America. That's the truth. They are overrepresented by that metric. That's the truth. So I want to take you somewhere. When you were talking about hope, you're talking about support, you're talking about dollars. This is how this is supposed to work. I swear this is supposed to. This is easy math. This is easy math. If African Americans make up, I'm going to use a real simple number, 5% of the population in South Bend, Indiana. by the way the government and the government dollar is supposed to work, African Americans are supposed to be 5% of the police force. It's supposed to be 5% of your or more of your fire department. Any department that's attached to taxpayer dollars is supposed to have 5% of that demographic working in those places, because the money is supposed to be spent equally across the board. Now, you're never going to get something perfect, right? 1 for 1. But you get it there as close as you possibly can. This is how this works. Every department is supposed to have 5% Black. That's how, because you're dividing the dollars up equally, right? And when that money comes through, that money is going to be spent back into that very environment, right? So it kind of like replenishes itself, right? No. It reinvests itself. That's what you said earlier. It reinvests itself. And so now that money is now used for your booster clubs, your schools, right? Is used for shopping in that particular area. Maybe like you get to keep a Kroger. What I'm saying is that you don't get any bleeding, right? Because that money is there. Well, this is how it's supposed to work. Think about it now.
No,
This is real easy math.
I have thought about it.
Yeah, it's easy math.
I think the problem, you have human beings that have not the same agenda as other people. You have greed. You have hate. You have, I just don't care about you.
You got a lot of that.
You know, I remember growing up, this man had, let's say, I know there had to be 18 kids in his family. And they caught him stealing food. And they busted him stealing cheese and meat.
Sound like you're hungry.
As a child, we thought it was funny. Hey, man, your daddy got busted. You know, he out there stealing. But we didn't understand that he was not going to allow his family to go hungry.
No, can't do that.
Then at that point in time, there were some people in authority that had the power to get a man a job.
Yeah, well, he showed up on time.
They found out that he was highly intelligent, and they gave him a job, and he just rose through the ranks at the company that he was at. His children all became something in life. That's what we're missing out on, that compassion that we should have one towards another.
Well, let's go back to the numbers again. This is supposed to reinvest in itself, right? So even at your levels, I'm talking about within the government range. I'm not talking about your personal company. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about where the tax dollars being spent at. So even in your HR departments, even in your senior executive level places, right? Like you could be talking about public works. You still have to have that 5% that I brought up earlier represented at the leadership level where people make the decisions level. So you had that diversity thing in there. You know, somebody said it was a bad thing. The DEI stuff was bad. And no. You have to set this is how you get to where you need to go. And this is how you keep people from running up in your house and going to the store and steal all your food, whatever that is. This is how you keep some. I mean, you're closing schools down.
Yeah, they changed standards. That standard no longer works.
Yeah, this stuff can stay consistent, right? We don't have to go up and down. This is easy work. At your 5%, with your 5%, even in your senior executive level. So that person not only makes a bit of money, but that person also helps make a decision that's supposed to benefit the people that look like that person. Oh, Henry, you're getting racist. No, I am not. Look, I've done this before. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands. Let's stop there. Republic. Republic is supposed to help those in a certain demographic. It could be racial. It could be gender. It could be, people with handicaps. It gives that demographic, whatever that is, the opportunity to win and also be represented at a table where decisions are made. That's what this is. So when you talk about the republic and you're talking about DEI, when you're talking about racial disparities, when you can be intentional and talk about those things because that's what the country itself was founded on. Now, they may not want to have this discussion in large part of black versus white, but this is what you asked for. I mean, the founding fathers, that's what they've asked for. They may not have thought we would be talking about black people, right? They were probably thought we would be talking about Hispanic people, right? But this is what happened. This is the math of it, right? You still can plug these things in there and it still works because that's for the benefit of that particular demographic. And when people don't believe and think that they deserve that 5%, and I'm saying this is a really low number so people can understand what I'm saying. When they don't feel like the people deserve that 5%, this is when all those issues start to pop up. That's when the crime happens. That's the crime, right? When you don't think that they deserve to be at the senior executive level making their 5% decisions.
I was reading in the Bible where the Lord told Israel, look, now I'm going to give you guys this country. Now, when you go in and I'll push the people out slowly that are there so the land doesn't overwhelm you. So when you become the sole owner of the land, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget that you were a bond servant in Egypt. Don't get so fat and high-minded and drunk to where you start treating people the way that you were treated and you didn't like it. That's what we are up against. You have, back in the 60s, I was in high school.
That was a long time ago.
And the hippies, were in movement then. Now, the white hippies that were there, the majority of them came from affluent families.
Oh, absolutely.
They kicked against their parents and their standards that they had set, because that's why they was down there with us. But as time went on, they took their parents' position. That's what we see now.
Like that. What commercial is that? Is that Geico when they talking about you starting to act like your parents? Is that commercial when they say you starting to act like your parents? You start.
But that's what it is. I remember a lot of guys that we hung out with. They became lawyers. They became judges, politicians. And as life moved on, you would see them and they would look at you like, I don't know you no more. And they would treat you like that, So we can't forget where we came from. We cannot lose sight of that. The Bible says the poor will always be with you. So there's always going to be poor people. So there's no such thing as a set aside. What's that program? You said what?
DEI? Yeah. Diversity?
No. That's nuts.
What, DEI?
No, I'm talking about when they can cut it out.
Oh, when they cut out things that kind of like is needed?
That they kind of start evening
the playing field?
The table.
Well, they came back and said that the only people that was receiving something out of the DEI policies were white women. Yeah, I got that, right? The numbers would suggest that there's more white women anyway. They're classified as a minority. I don't know how white women are classified as a minority group anyway, but
that's the way they treated them.
Well, I mean, but you know what I mean? White women.
The white man.
There's more women on this earth than anything. How could they be a minority?
The white man has always sought to rule over everyone. That's his problem. He can't rule over himself without a fight. So it becomes greed. It becomes hatred. It becomes self-hatred more than anything, because if I sit down and don't go to work, you can't ride your horsey. It means that you got to go to work. And you haven't worked in so long, you don't know what to do. So now you come up with AI. Now you got...
With your robots.
Yeah, all of that.
They got robots walking around us.
You have all of that. But see, robots and that artificial intelligence don't buy nothing.
Wait, they said the robots now they got robots out there right now that can recharge their own battery.
But can they program themselves?
Hey man, this stuff is wild, man.
The thing is,
so he can go to the filling station when he get ready to. He goes to the gas station, get some gas, and keep going.
But the thing is, we're human beings. And we program the artificial intelligence. They only can do what we put on the program.
I don't know. They saying, man, these robots are going to take over, man.
Yeah, they lying.
Hey, man, they even, you ain't seen, have you seen the sex robots that they...
I like to see them reproduce.
They say they are. They're going to reproduce. They're going to do everything. Everything, man.
See, and you said something about facts. Let's tell the truth. Facts change.
They can.
Facts change.
They can.
The truth never changes. So take me away from the fact. Carry me to the truth. That's how we survive.
And you know what? We're going to end on that note. You guys, we really appreciate I'm going to get me a robot. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you again for looking out for us. We're looking out for y'all. Hope you guys enjoy the content that we're pushing, the stuff that we're talking about. Look, you have to engage yourself in the public process. You have to. And it's just not as easy as just going out and voting. It is easy, but you have to follow through with some of the stuff. This is life. This is what's happening to us, and we're allowing quite a bit of it happen to us. We are actually in a driver's seat. So
exactly.
You guys stay tuned, pay attention. That federal worker stuff, that's serious. That's a lot of money that that's not going to be spent in a lot of our urban cores. And you know who there. And you know what could happen when money is not there. So, figure it out. But again, thank you.
What really pinches my nerve is how they can make a certain race of people criminals.
Hey.
And they say everybody, Black, Hispanic, all of y'all are criminals. Every one of you, because they don't distinguish one from another.
No, they just said that you...
Yeah, you're a criminal.
Yeah, they said the reason why Kroger had closed.
And they become the biggest liars and thieves that ever was.
Man.
Ask the Indian about his kid.
Maybe if you had some robots standing outside Kroger in the parking lot, some people stop stealing. Hey, you guys take care. Thank you so much.